What is going on, guys? It is a curiously beautiful day in December in Colorado, which is odd, but I got some tires for the wheels that I got from my Porsche Cayman, so we're gonna throw those on. We're gonna head to Big O and get those mounted right now. And then I got the adapter kit for the LS swap, so we're gonna install that and hopefully start installing the engine and trans, get all that together and see how it fits. So for the tires, I got a set of Federal Evolution ST1s. The rears are 285/35 and the fronts are a 255/35. A little bit of sidewall, 300 tread wear, so it'll be fairly grippy. I forget what size the wheels are, but maybe like a 10 and 8.5 or something like that. So they'll fit pretty nice. They'll be a little, they'll be pretty meaty looking. So let's go drop these off. And here they are all mounted up. I think it fits pretty fucking well. Nice little front and rear fitment matches. Pretty hyped on those. Except they lost one of my fucking center caps, I just realized. Damn. So right here is a very wonky looking flywheel for the LS swap. So because the adapter plate's tall, which I'll show you in a second, and whatever other reasons, I don't know why I didn't make it, we have this very weird flywheel, which I am going to pick up and carry. Put it on my scale. And 30.5 pounds.
One for you.
And Corey bought us fire extinguishers.
Kyle, and one for me.
Woo! Good timing. And right here are the other two parts of the adapter kit. Pretty standard basic clutch. And then the adapter plate. It's pretty weird looking. It's got the weird double layer thing going on. Pretty sure that is because the Porsche transmission has the small bolt holes and the LS flywheel is big diameter. First things first, we got to get the engine off the engine stand here. When we bolt the flywheel on, and then we can bolt the adapter plate on, and then we can bolt the clutch on. And also, got a little preview of my 3D printed coolant adapters. These are going to accept NPT thread hose barb fitting. One on each side, and then this one and this one will be like wide together, and same with the bottoms. And then those will go into the regular Cayman radiator hoses. Now we got the motor up on the engine hoist, and here it is with the backwards intake manifold, as you might remember from the last video. So right now we're going to throw the adapter flywheel on, and then the adapter plate. They also gave these little dowel pins, 2 of them. Not totally sure where they go, but I'll figure that out. And then obviously a lot of hardware. In the instructions, which I'm not very good at following, they recommend putting this on first to test fit, and then pulling that off, and then putting this on, and then putting that on. I don't know if I'm going to do that, so yeah, let's just throw this on. That's a bitch. Boom. Now I got the flywheel all bolted in and torqued down. The torque spec on those is 74 foot-pounds. The bolts that are supplied come with Loctite on them, so they'll be good. Also, I recommend pulling one of these bolts out just so you have a good swing for your torque wrench to go without bending or breaking one of these, because that would not be convenient. And yeah, you can just shove a screwdriver or pry bar right in one of these holes and it's good to go. Easy way. So now we're going to throw the adapter plate on. Now, adapter plate is all bolted down, torqued, blue Loctite, all that. These were torqued to 37 foot-pounds. Now we can put the pressure plate on. Boom. So I got the motor over to the, motor over to the transmission, Transmission is really heavy. I definitely just pulled a muscle in my back lifting it. Corey is cleaning.
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to put it in the trash.
Wow.
It's made by Porsche.
No.
Volkswagen, I mean.
That is made by Getrag, thank you.
It's still made by the Germans.
Maybe. No, ZF is German. I don't know. ZF. I don't know what Getrag is.
We'll give the YouTube people an update on that.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But we're gonna slap the trans on the motor and have a complete assembly, which is sweet. Now we got the car inside on the lift, new wheels on, and I think they look fucking great. Nice and meaty. Good fitment. They could probably use a little bit of a spacer once I give it some camber, but no big deal. Got the engine down there, and we're gonna lower the car onto the engine and see how it does. Alright, so I pulled the center console out just so I could get that out of the way, remove the e-brake which was there, remove the e-brake cables from here, and now what I'm going to have to do is lift the car back up. Oh, and I also removed the shifter cables. I'm going to have to lift the car back up and start doing some cutting down in there, basically where the, you're not going to be able to see it, but where the crank pulley is going to hit the front firewall there, we're going to have to cut. And then hopefully, I've seen some people cut here, but that's on a friend or a dude I talked to who is building an LS7 swapped one, so those are a little bit taller. So hopefully I won't have to cut as much up here as he did, or maybe not at all, but we'll see what happens. Now with the center console removed, I was able to do some cutting, which is right there, and some other stuff there, and a little off the top there. And then I got the motor sitting roughly where I want it. Probably be back just like it'd be back a cunt hair, and then maybe the motor will be down, the car will be up just a little bit. Not sure on that yet. It is looking pretty good. One thing I really wanted to do was make sure that the axle, which you can barely see over there, see if I can get that in focus, which I can't. So the axle right there, I wanted it to be fairly lined up, that's about where it goes from the factory. It might just be a little bit back because you don't want the axle to be super crazy angled because that'll cause problems with your CV joints. So now, working on the mounting setup, we're gonna bolt to there, and then do a little spin move. Right here, I added a plate on this side, 2 bolts, and then these 2 bolts are to retain a backing plate, which I'll show you in 1 second, which is a little bit bigger than this plate, and it basically just reinforces it. This one's 3/16 steel, cut it out on the plasma table, and then the backing plate is just 1/8" steel, also cut out on the plasma table. And it's not going to be bolted in, it's just going to be welded in, but it'll have nuts welded to it for all 4 of the bolts. And same thing on the other side right there. So we're going to come off of here, go straight back. We're going to mount off of here, come out, some sort of cross member under the motor, and then a couple things coming back and then crossing over back here as well. It should give the rear of the car a lot of stability, and it should also support the motor really well. Another thing I also want to note is that the motor is sitting with the nose down at about a 4-degree angle, and that is to get more clearance there and to get more clearance back here, as well as a better axle angle as far as height's concerned, because you don't want the trans too low, otherwise when you lower the car, the axle will be super jacked up. Not a good time, especially when you're trying to throw some power through it. Now up under the car, we've got some of the subframe built. This is 1x2 120 wall rectangle tubing. Welded it right there to the plates that we made, and then we went across and then coming back. We got 1 cross member right there. We did that, we laid that flat just to get more transmission clearance. Just kind of worked out better. We used an 1/8" plate right here, bolting to these 2 bolt holes right there on the subframe. We're probably gonna just make a spacer there. There is the bolt holes. Oh, that bolt hole right there that you can kind of see is gonna come down as a little brace, a little vertical brace. That'll be it for the motor mount subframe area. Ugh. Let me stand up. Now in here, I got this fancy little stream light that Corey bought me. It's pretty cool. I'll drop a link for that in the description because it's pretty useful. Climb in the car. So right there, we got the motor mount. I'm gonna make a plate that goes on the subframe from like there to there, bolts that. It should be able to use a stock style Corvette motor mount, which would be nice. And then, yeah, we'll just bolt it to there and then we can work on the transmission mount. Now right here is the completed subframe. These bolt to that point. These two bolt to that point. And then these two, I'm gonna build a spacer to go under the bolt just to make up for the space there. The ratchet strap is because it warped a little bit and those are a little wide. Everything's all TIG welded. The motor mount plates there, made these little braces just to clean everything up kind of. End caps with a little bit of brace there. This is what I was just talking about, how it was flat. Another advantage is I'm going to run the exhaust here rather than trying to squeeze it above, just because we got more space underneath and I think it'll be good. It's only a 2.5 inch exhaust, so that'll be fine. I did just order the mufflers, which are gonna go here. It's basically gonna be like a side inlet and outlet, 2.5 inch as well. And then we're gonna come over, you know, kind of a pretty standard looking exhaust for these. I didn't cover these, but I got the transmission mounts made. This is the stock. You can kind of see it there. This is the stock portion, just cut off there. Some 1/8 inch plate. Bolts to the top and bottom of both. It provides a little adjustment front to back and left and right and stuff, and it works great. And then the motor mounts bolt there. Use some of that right there, which is 2 7/8 tall. Just aluminum I turned down on the lathe. So that's the same size as the Corvette mount. So I'll be able to replace it with Corvette mount so I have a not solid mount. And yes, so now I'm going to throw this subframe in and essentially the motor will be bolted in place. Now I got everything installed back in the car and the engine is all mounted where it's going to be. So I started working on all this metal in here. Basically, we cut a bunch of stuff out of here, a little bit more than, probably a little bit more than I should have, but whatever. The engine cover is going to be out of fiberglass. This plate right here, along with that, just give me a little surface to bolt to. And this right here is the factory e-brake pivot thingy. I don't know what the fuck this thing is. E-brake pivot mount. So it'll have factory e-brake cables. Next up, we're going to kind of start working where we're gonna build the fiberglass and go from there. But that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll try to have more videos coming out soon, but we'll see. Got a lot of good parts for this car. Just got here today. So we'll open those up and get them installed. Thanks.